Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to your August 2016 reading. This can be used for your sun sign, your rising sign, or your moon sign. I get that question a lot, so I just wanted to answer that. Welcome. If you've been here before, you know how this is organized. If not, just a quick intro. I start with channeled information, then we'll look at your forecast, and then we expand that forecast out to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. So we'll begin with the channeled information. Right side up would help. And this month was about trying to create something which I saw could be difficult for you. So I said cultivate and foster optimism. Partly because there could either be some old habits or some negative feedback around you that is sort of bringing you or holding you back from achieving everything you could. And as we've talked about many times on this channel, you know, the power of thoughts and the power of your own sort of projection of positivity is something that you really don't want to underestimate, and you don't want to give away. So I'm not exactly sure why you need to have a little bit more focus on that this month, but when I was thinking about you, I could see a little bit of a deficit or an area where, again, people might be pulling back a little bit at you, your self-confidence, or making you feel like things may not work out the way you want them to work out. What you have to think about is, you know what, I'm putting in the work every day to work towards my goals. I'm happy with my life, and I'm going to continue on a path of success. Of course, you have challenges and changes that you have to go through all the time, but you have to stay positive about who you are and where you're headed. And if you're not there, then work on that. That's why it said cultivate and foster. So I want you to try your best to get to a place where you're not beating yourself up and you're not letting other people put you in a place where you feel like I'm not good enough, okay? So now let's take a look at these cards and see what is coming through for you this month. All right, plenty of shuffling there. Let's get straight to it. And after I pull these cards, I will draw what I call as a catalyst card, and that's how you work to make either that optimism happen or to get the best sort of result out of this month. So the catalyst really is the key to success for this month. All right, so let's pull that card and then we'll begin the reading. Okay, very powerful card that you have here. It says the Creator. What this is saying is that you don't want to basically pass the buck to anyone. That's why I was saying optimism. Your success or failure sits within yourself, okay? You are the creator of all things good, all things evil, all things everything. And really, one thing that people don't realize sometimes with Western religion or our modern sort of view of religion is that we all are able to channel the divine light, and that's really what you see here is almost the flame of the universe, the flame of God, however you want to sort of interpret that. But really feel and notice that it's actually, I talk a lot about basically the solar plexus chakra, but that's definitely what's being cultivated here, right around the belly button. It's our connection to our mothers when we come into the world. It's also our connection to how we give birth to projects, to how do we connect to other people. So the stronger your solar plexus, the more successful you'll be. But you are absolutely the creator of all things positive in your life, and you're the agent of success and ultimately not success if you choose that, but choose success. I think it's a good thing for you this month, okay? Meditation, of course, is going to be key to helping you find that sense of calm, which you may not have at the beginning. All right, so the reason for that, I think, is because there's a lot being asked of many of you this month. Okay, so we have right here a beautifully illustrated 9 of Wands, and you'll notice it's almost like you're literally being thrown into the hot seat with this. There's a lot of possibly responsibilities or duties that it's being asked of you. Now, a lot of times this card is illustrated with somebody that looks like they've been through a difficult time. Sometimes they're bandaged, sometimes they just look forlorn. What I like about this is there's an alertness and an ability to move out of a difficult situation. So if you're either surrounded by people, because if you look at sort of how all of these wands or logs in this case are lining up, it's almost setting up a perfect storm. So I want you to walk away from any sort of quote unquote setups or situations where people may be trying to like pull a negative reaction from you. Again, going back to optimism, and just take a higher road. You don't have to be in this fire, which we see. And the great thing about the Nine of Wands is that you're almost out of a something. Like the 10 usually shows a person stepping away, taking the lessons or the information or the money or whatever they've learned and moving on to a future destination. And for you, the crowning card for this month is beautiful. It's the World reversed. The reversal on this card is really saying that you're in the middle of a 1-year sort of shift here, and some of what you're looking for and hoping for, it may take another season, it may take another couple seasons to happen, but I see potential for a major move or a major agent of change in your life. So this could be meeting someone that maybe lives across the world and you create a new friendship or a new love with them. Very exciting, pretty positive from what I can see, okay? Also, you guys have been working hard. When we look here at the recent past, it's reversed, but it's still positive. We have the Three of Wands. Now, the reversal is saying that your success is not happening maybe the speed you wish, maybe looking at your bank accounts, wondering why aren't things happening faster, or you're not getting the title you want at work. I want you to think much further and much bigger, look at a bird's eye view of where you're at, and start to sort of map out what it is you really want to be doing. The interesting thing is, and I mentioned it in another video this month, but like when we're children, we have an opportunity to what if all we want, sort of, and by what if I mean like, well, what if I decide to be a fireman or a doctor or a nurse or an artist or a musician, and we get all of these sort of potential things that we could try with our lives. The older we get, the less we're encouraged to think about reinventing ourselves. What I'm seeing for many of you this month is a desire, a need to wear a new hat, to try something. I'm not talking literally about going in your, but try on something different as far as what your life is about, how you are perceived in the world. And it's really healthy to go and change things about ourselves every 6 or 8 or 10 years. It's time to change something new. So if you've been thinking about that, it's okay. Your center card is the Four of Cups, I'm sorry. With the Four of Cups, it's showing me that although some things have been sustaining you, there's something that really feeds your soul, and that's what I think is sort of starting to come through. You're often the one who sort of holds down the fort or makes things happen, we see with the Strength card, but there is a part of you now that's ready to be a little bit bolder and try something new, and if that's the case, go for it. All right, in the areas of love, because I do see love and relationships coming through, we have the Four of Cups crossing the Nine of Wands here in the center. And what this is showing is a little bit of, what's the best way I can put this? A readiness or an anxiousness, that's probably better. It's like an itch for something more. So if you've been in a relationship for a while, the World card reversed can indicate a time for a change. Either you're going to go much deeper and get like married, or you're at a point where if you've been together and it's not working, you might be looking at a separation. If that's the case, then what I see around you is a lot of support and an opportunity to call in a much higher love if that's something you're seeking. Now, for those of you in a relationship that want to go deeper, this is also saying that that potential exists. You could go much deeper in that. There is love around you and love that's waiting to be tapped into if that's something you so desire. This could come in the form of a really strong fire sign, and when I'm looking at the Knight of Staffs here, I'm also seeing it's probably someone a little bit younger, but very bold is what I get from this. And this one, this could be someone who sort of just bursts into your life unexpected, and if that's the case, and if it's something you're looking for, let's pull a clarifying card. I don't do that all the time, but what you want to make sure is that the timing is right. So when I'm looking at this card, you don't want to be basically having someone come in and cleaning up, like no rebound relationships is what I'm seeing right now. So if somebody sort of bursts into your life unexpected, it's very bold and won't take no for an answer, just find out why they're in such a hurry, sort of what their last relationship was like. Take pause. I don't want you to get into a situation where you're more stressed out with this new opportunity than you were with the old one. So one thing I would say is that before you make any big shifts in the relationship front, do your research. Because one thing that I actually ripped up the card before I channeled two pieces of information. One said research, and but I got optimism as a stronger channeled information for you. But I think the research has to do now, as I'm looking at these cards, with researching potential relationships. This also can be extended to business relationships. So if you're looking for a new job and you get a really enticing offer, but you're not sure, and your intuition is saying, I don't know, there's something about this, and I want you to go and do that extra effort, ask around, talk to some people, see the word on the street, really figure out, is this for me? Always better to err on the side of caution when you make a big change like that. When I look at the hope and fear area of your life, we have the Hierophant in reverse. And I'm seeing a 1 month shift. Like in 1 month's time, it looks like for many of you, there could be a change in the environment, like where you're working. Could be a sort of restructuring. There could be an opportunity that opens up where you're not going to have, and I think this can also be about doing the research. Some of you may be given an opportunity to sort of get ahead, but there's going to be less stability. And so for those of you that are taking care of a family, this probably isn't as good of a decision. For those of you that are single or have more, like another partner that can take up the slack if things don't work out, you may have more opportunities with this. But for many of you in the area of work and projects, what I'm seeing is pay attention to the bottom line, what you need to survive, and risk, how much risk you're willing to take on expenditures and new opportunities. The reason I mention that is your outcome card is the 4 of coins, or the 4 of pentacles, and it's reversed, which is telling me it's a time to be a little bit more cautious when it comes to spending. You want to save a little bit more. It's still a time for building. It's still a time for thinking about the future, but you want to do so in a way that is very measured and has an absolute return on your investment. So no risky ventures, nothing that would put you, your family, or your bank account at risk, if that makes sense. And with relationships, the same holds true, which is prenuptial came to mind. If you're going to get into a new relationship, maybe you want to talk about prenup. Also, for those of you that are just thinking about, can I really manage starting a family at this point? Planning is really important. So money is going to play a role over the next quarter of the year, the next 3 or 4 months. And it's okay. I think sometimes you have to be practical about things. There's a time for risk and there's a time to be cautious. I think this is a time for you to be much more cautious. But remember that 3 or 4 months is not the end of the world, and everything that you do now affects the next quarter after that, or the next year, because we're almost heading into the second part of the year, which is going to, or we're in the third quarter, we'll be in the fourth quarter soon. So we're getting towards our goals and aspirations for next year. So what you do now has a very real effect on where you'll be a year from now. So what I always do, and what has brought me a lot of comfort in life, is rather than focus on, oh, I wish I had this, or if I only could do this, I start putting together all of the necessary pieces so that in 6 months' time, in 1 year, or in 2 years' time, I'm in the place where I want to be. And I look at the long term and focus on the opportunities rather than the restrictions or the constraints on my where I'm at right now. So for people that are single that want to be together with someone, focus on improving yourself, focus on getting out there and meeting more people, but don't focus on the fact that I can't, or I won't. Remember, the optimism is going to be your magnet for positive opportunities and positive relationships. Let's expand this forecast now to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We'll begin with the health card for you. And I like to remind people that this is not just physical health, but it's mental and spiritual health as well. You know what? This card is the one that volunteered. So I mentioned it's a month and it's a time right now for caution. And so when it comes to your health, and the two things. One, I want you to be very cognizant of what you're putting into your body, how you're treating your body. I also want you to observe the way others treat you and how that has an absolute relation or correlation to your health. So this is a month for you to start to think about your habits and start to think about who's around you and are they all healthy influences on you. If they aren't, You'll notice we have a 12 here. Right around the middle of the month, that's when you want to start to make some changes and some resolutions on how you're going to shift yourself into a healthy consciousness. Let's take a look now at wealth, which includes career opportunities, not just money, and it also includes other opportunities in your life that could bring you to a better place. But it is really money. This is about career, finance, material sort of stability. So one thing that I'm seeing is that you're in a period right now of it's almost a little bit feeling stagnant, or that it's not where you want it to be. I don't want to pull the god of hypnos or sleep for your financial area. So absolutely a month for you to be more active in looking at any of the bookkeeping. If you have an accountant, you want to talk to her or talk to him about where you're at and what's going on, and if it's matching all of your goals and your aspirations. And the other thing you want to do is to start to look at other people. And sometimes what I do is get inspired by other successful people. And so do some research in very practical terms. This means like looking at best practices for if you're trying to start up a business, see what your competition is doing and how you can meet or beat your competition. But yeah, you need to be more active overall with money and focus on having revenue come in a little bit more. So this could mean putting in some extra hours. It could mean taking a second job. It definitely means curbing spending over the next month. All right, now let's take a look at love and relationships. So it can include romantic love, but it can also just mean relationships with parents, with friends, etc. So let's see what the connotation is this month. Okay, so this is a month for you to take care of yourself. Whenever this card comes up, it's about reaching out to the very real and then also the very sort of metaphysical and abstract angels in your life. So this can come in the form of talking to a therapist, going for a massage, getting Reiki treatment, like spoiling yourself, quote unquote, in one area, and then also taking time for prayer, meditation, and I even got the word sort of like invocation or benediction. I want you to do something that feels sacred and holy. The other thing that comes through on this one is to let go of pain. One thing that people don't realize always is you can make many different offerings to God or the universe. One of those includes giving up your sadness or your pain. You can say, thank you so much for the lesson that this pain provided me, or this situation or these challenges provided me. I feel ready now to unburden myself, and I would like to give you this pain or give you this sadness, and please help me find a higher frequency vibration or a higher emotion in its stead. So you can say something like that. It's a prayer of lightening or of ease. And you could just say, I'm ready now to let go. Take this pain away and allow me to feel joy again, or something like that. And the universe, God, will accept that. It's a different kind of gift, but you have to ask for help. So that's the ultimate thing when that angel card comes up. It's reach out, ask for help if you need it. If you're feeling sad, if you're feeling like you're overburdened at work, if you're feeling like your family's not recognizing your contributions, you need to have a real face-to-face with all of these people. And then on a spiritual level, you want to communicate or meditate with God or your version of God or gods, depending on what your religion is. So connect with the divine and find a way to let go of some of the burdens in your life, okay? Finally, let's take a look at your destiny card. And your destiny card is your trajectory, not only for the next month, but the next quarter of the year. I've been mentioning this in almost every video this month, but it's a malleable one. It's one that you can change. And we got the same card that I think maybe 2 signs ago that I pulled. It's beautiful. It's the Violet Flame. And the Violet Flame is all about your intuition and your ability to use your own ideas for not only spiritual advancement, but also physical and material advancement in this plane. So for many of you that are sort of just doing a job out of necessity or because you haven't wanted to work on something else, this is saying your higher self wants you to connect with what you truly want. I realize not everyone can do that because of financial constraints or job availability, etc. But you can start to work towards a goal that could make you happier. And that's what this is saying, is allow yourself to dream, allow yourself to work to get closer to something that really feels passionate to you. But more importantly, and that's why the angel card came up before it, this is about connecting to your divine purpose. And so somehow you need to listen or tune into that. And a lot of times when I do one-on-one coaching with people, they'll ask, like, what is my purpose? And so we can look at that through cards, but you can also just take a deep breath and think to yourself, what is it I would be doing right now if I had a chance to just follow my heart? Would you want to be would you want to be a therapist? Would you want to be a doctor? Would you want to, we talked about the what ifing before. Give yourself a chance to be that little 5-year-old or 6-year-old and think again about what it is that you just want to do on this planet. And maybe that is to be a husband or to be a wife or to be, some sort of a support system for somebody in your life. And that's okay. Whatever it is that you want to do, that's great. But just connect to that divine purpose and feel a sense of satisfaction. I want you to feel that, and then things will get better for you. Okay? Let's summarize everything that came through this month. I'll focus first on the money, since we talked a lot about that, and this ties up to that Hypnos card that we got here with your finances. But basically, things are a little bit slower for many of you this month. It could have to do with for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, with the holidays that are coming up here, like summer holidays, people taking vacations, not as much work in some sectors. Also, you may have spent a little bit more than you needed to. So this is a time for savings and also for earnings. I want you to earn more and save more, spend less. Also, I'm seeing many of you getting into a point where you either want to go deeper in a relationship or perhaps let go. Make sure that you do all the homework, and before stepping into a new relationship, possibly with a strong fire sign, an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius, just make sure that you're okay and that you know where they're coming from. It's more the baggage they could be bringing in that I want you to pay attention to. Your physical strength looks pretty strong, to be honest, and looking at other things here, you've been doing all the hard work you really need to get ahead. It may be a matter of you looking for a new job opportunity if the one that you have isn't providing you with the stability, or if you don't like the politics at the job right now. When we expanded your forecast, again, reminder that your key term here was optimism. Your channeled information is to cultivate and remain as optimistic as possible. And that also a key to success this month is to remember that you, not other people, are the ones responsible for your own success or failure. So basically that's an accountability and also a self-empowerment card. Your health, like I said, is in pretty good shape. Just observe how some people might be affecting you, or this could be a month when you're looking at different things in your life that could be triggers for your health. So whether it's going out too much and drinking too much, or it could be just your sleep habits, there's some minor changes that you can make, and you can do this around the 12th of the month, around the middle of the month. We talked about wealth. Overall, for love, relationships, and all things in your life, really, you will benefit this month if you unburden yourself, if you find a way to ask for help, to find the real angels in your life that are willing to help and heal you. And finally, the closer you get to your true calling on this planet, the better your life is going to be, the better your money situation will be too. You can also do a Google search and look for a violet flame meditation. It's a very powerful meditation where you allow some of that pain that you might be feeling, or some of the sadness, to be lifted through the violet flame. And again, perhaps I'll have a chance. I get very busy with these monthly ones, and I can't always do the meditation videos. So you can reach out to me if you want to do a violet flame meditation, or I might post a shorter version of it here on the channel one of these months when I don't have all of these videos. So let me know on that. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. I think some really useful information came through, particularly about finances and relationships. And if you ever need more personalized information, I do offer one-on-one readings, and I'll post a link in the corner so you can check that out. If you'd like to just stay in touch, the easiest way, of course, is to hit subscribe on this video, but I also have a newsletter, and I'm very good about publishing that almost immediately after I publish my videos here, so it's a great way to keep in touch. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so feel free to follow me there. Finally, thank you so much. Every month I like to just extend a little bit of gratitude, because this channel exists really because of all of the positive feedback and the likes and all these subscribes that you do every month, and it really shows me that this makes a difference in your life. So keep that coming. It helps me. And also, if you feel moved, I'll put a donate button here as well. Any amount helps, but it's not a necessity. That's only if you feel like it. Otherwise, I'll see you again in 1 month's time. And again, I'm just really grateful for being able to help you out this month. Take care of yourself. Sat Nam.